Hey everybody, welcome again to Youth Sports and Activities Midwest. My name is Brian French, your host, and as always, I'm joined by my partner on the mic, Dave Penning.
Welcome everyone.
So, we got some baseball in, a little frigid this weekend, but not too bad, right?
Yeah, thank goodness for turf, you know.
And the weather's looking pretty good coming up this weekend.
Looks pretty promising, yeah. If the forecast is right this weekend, looks like we may get a complete tournament in.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? I think everybody would enjoy that. So, but hey, we wanted to give. We've been looking around. Shout out to some local clubs. We look around on Facebook, not just for what teams are doing, but just information. And I think it's kind of cool what I'm seeing on some of these Facebook pages with these coaches, what they're putting out. We were on the Bandits Facebook page, and they have this post on there. It's called Making the Grade, and it talks about the percentages of schools that can recruit you depending upon your GPA. And I was like, oh, okay, so that was pretty interesting. And examples are, if you got a 4.0, 94%, this is baseball, mind you, this ain't football or basketball, a 3.5, 72% of schools, and then it really kind of drops off from there. And I mean, when you're talking about trying to get into school, if you've got a 3.0 GPA, which, mind you, a 3.0 GPA isn't bad, but only 51% of schools, it really falls off. And then if you're 2.5, you're at 21% and a 2.0, 8%. So if
you better be a good athlete.
And so if you're looking at trying to get into a school and start, and that's percentages of schools that can recruit you depending upon your GPA when you're playing baseball. So when the coaches, you kids that are watching, parents, all of it, when the coaches are saying, hey, grades are important, I said that, important, they are important. So remember that when you're out there looking at schools and whatnot. And then we also saw out there the folks down Champions Village, St. Louis Force. They've got a clinic, or a camps actually. They're doing some camps this summer, and their information was on the Facebook page, and I'm sure you can find it on their website. Looks like starting in May 20th. They got great facilities down there, summer camps. All the information is there. Kickball, dodgeball, field trips, talent shows, movies, video games, and more. They got a lot going on down there, man.
Looks like it.
Sal does a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's a nice place down there. It's
I
really
like it.
nice.
I do. I like it. And then one more for you. We've got the Gators. We were looking on their Facebook page, and the Gators got some hitting clinics coming up in April, the same different age divisions and whatnot out there at the Sports Barn. That's in O'Fallon. And that's what's great. You've got Champions Village down there, and it's in Fenton, down south, Sports Barn over here, O'Fallon. You got the Bandits. They have their facility, the Field House. So you got a lot of options and opportunities in the area to keep busy this summer and keep working on your game. So remember, follow some of these teams. If you're with a group, follow them. If you're not, if you're looking for something to do this summer, there you go. So, Dave, I just want to change gears just a little bit here. We've been just in the season just a little bit. So what have you been seeing so far? How do you think St. Louis baseball, with the big drive, we got all these clubs out here now, how are we stacking up? How is St. Louis stacking up in the Midwest?
Well, in the Midwest, I think we're right there, at the top. In the big city of St. Louis here, we're right there with the big cities in the Midwest now. When you venture, regionally down south, I think we're still a little bit behind. It's not due to the fact that we don't have the athletes. It's simply because of the warm climate that they have. When you can go, essentially play 12 months out of the year, it's going to help your game.
Right. I think we've caught up, too, on some of these fronts, just for the simple fact that you're seeing these facilities now
That helps out immensely. That helps out a lot.
I mean, you talk about the Sports Barn, Champions Village, what Strickland has, Pirates, Gamers. All these groups have facilities that help you get better.
No doubt about it. We're catching them, but still, it's just that helps it a lot, and you could see the gap being closed here in the Midwest.
So we are beginning to draw, and I think the more we travel, the more we do that kind of thing, the more these teams get out and see what else is out there. I think the better it's going to make these teams. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I was just down at Branson Ballparks of America last weekend. Again, great facility, and talking with Jason down there, the facilities manager. And in June and July, they get the week-long teams that come there, and we were talking a little bit about this topic, and teams from like Texas and Florida come up, and they tell Jason, we're 71-10. Well, they're 81 games into their season in June. That's a lot of baseball, and he sees it too. He said the same thing. It's just the more you play, the better you're going to get.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think it's a positive thing. We're going to keep growing. Shout out to all you club teams. Keep working hard. Guys, we appreciate what you're doing for these kids, and I think we're going to close that gap in the next few years. I really do.
Absolutely, we're on the right track, like you say, with all these new facilities coming up. It's a great tool, a great asset for the teams to go in and participate and knock that rust off. I compare it look at this, like the North.
Yeah,
the North has hockey.
Oh man,
yes.
Yeah.
Do you see any, South teams, youth sports teams, hockey teams down south that can go compete? Maybe one or two.
Right.
But, that's kind of a comparison that they compare baseball to.
True. It's very true. And the thing that I think is great is you're starting to see these teams now that are from the South moving up into this area, coming and playing in your tournaments and seeing good quality competition, though, right?
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. We're going to be moving on here to our segment with Mr. Mike Morgan, talking about his foundation. But first, I want to talk to you about Live Well Chiropractic and our good friend there, Dr. Liz. If you've got any kind of chronic symptoms, pain, headaches, migraines, whatever the case may be, hey, Dr. Crumbaugh has got an answer for you. Go see her. Check her out. You can go to our website. You can click on a link, get right to her website, find her on Facebook, follow her on Facebook. She's got some great tips. She writes blogs, great information, things that can help you. So if you want to live healthy, love your spine with Dr. Crumbaugh. We'll talk to you in a minute. Hey, and we're back here with Mike Morgan, who is the Assistant Athletic Director at Lindenwood University. And we're talking to him today about his new foundation that him and his wife started. Mike?
It's like a rose between two thorns here.
That's probably true, man. It's probably true. I'm a little prickly. So it's been a minute since we've talked, and I've followed everything on Facebook. Tell us a little bit. I know it's kind of not on some of the questions I wanted, but I followed you guys on your trip down to Florida. Yeah. How did that happen?
Yeah, so it was just an unbelievable trip. So back, probably about a year ago, somebody had nominated our family for a all expense paid trip through, it's called Baking Memories for Kids. This unbelievable man started a foundation where he sells cookies, literally bakes cookies in his it used to be in his basement, and sold them, and then sent kids with life-threatening illnesses and their families to all expense paid trip to Disney. So we got nominated for one of those, and in last February, we surprised the kids, and then unfortunately, when Jordan passed away in November, we were a little worried about going on our trip.
Right.
So we were able to still go, and it was unbelievable. It was awesome to go. It was, for my wife and I, it was sad to go because the reason we were going was because of our daughter Jordan, who had passed away, but our other kids really needed it. Our kids will never be able to go back to Disneyland ever again because we literally walked up to a line and said we had a little pass, and we went back way and went right to the line. We rode every ride. We went to every park in Florida, all expense paid. Playing. Wow. We stayed in a place called Giving Kids the World. We stayed in like a villa. It was unbelievable. And we have, since Jordan had passed away, we have a little bear that she was given one of the first times in the hospital that kind of we take with us. So we took the bear with us. We had a shirt on for her. So our kids carried it around, and our kids knew why we were there. They honored Jordan, and we kind of went on that trip in honor of Jordan and what she gave to us as a family, and it was spectacular.
I think it's great that they still sent you guys.
Yeah, we were the gentleman that runs the Baking Memories for Kids was a little worried because the place we go has like a strict policy that the wish kid has to be there. We were going, if I had to sell a car or sell something, I was sending my kids to Disneyland because, they look forward to it. But yeah, the people at Baking Memories for Kids and Give Kids the World were just unbelievable. And I was a little worried going down there because, I didn't want them to say, like, oh, where's Jordan at? Like looking around.
Right,
so I didn't want my kids to go through that. But everybody was spectacular, and it was a trip of a lifetime, and our family will never forget it.
That's awesome. I enjoyed all the pictures. They were great. It was a lot of fun watching that. And I know that and I could feel, even me, you felt some of the sadness because you knew Jordy wasn't there, and it was. But I'm glad for you guys and your family that you got to do that and experience that.
It was awesome.
So let's talk about this. So this new foundation.
Yeah.
What's it called?
So Jordan Morgan Memorial Foundation. So my wife and I. We've had thoughts of this while Jordan was alive to start something to help families like ours. When we went through this catastrophic event with our daughter, we had lots of issues. There's medical equipment that our insurance company didn't approve us of that was literally keeping her alive that we couldn't afford. We had nursing that we couldn't get enough nursing because there wasn't enough nurses out there to come to our home to help us with Jordan. So, we had thoughts of this and wanting to help, but we were so busy with Jordan, just trying to, take care of her life daily with all our other kids. So we kind of had put that on a back burner. And then when she had passed away, we really wanted to do something for families like ours. When we were going through this, we didn't have anybody, and it was nobody's fault. We just didn't know. Fortunately, we didn't know anybody that had gone through something like this. Mm-hmm. So we're going to help as many families as we can by purchasing medical equipment that's too expensive for them. Their insurance says no. Helping them with private duty nursing. We want to outfit school playgrounds with accessible equipment for kids that can slide, roll their wheelchairs up and swing. It's just the little stuff that nobody thinks about on a daily basis until you go through something like this. And it was hard going to park, and Jordan couldn't do anything but sit there. So we want to do our best to help that. And another aspect of it is we want to help families get through these type of situations. When we were going through it, we had nobody to lean on.
The counseling, just talking, walking through certain things that you just don't know what to do, right?
We had nobody to lean on, and like I said, it's nobody's fault. We didn't know anybody.
No, right.
So we want to help people as much as we can by just being an ear, being there for them, telling them our experiences. I mean, we went through something catastrophic, like I said, and we had 3 other kids, and trying to have a job and take care of your other 3 kids, and then still be married, like still having a relationship with your significant other it was hard. And we want to help people that way too.
Let me ask you. You mentioned the nursing. Mm-hmm. When you're in those situations, how much specialization is necessary for the nursing to come in and help you?
It really depends per kid. For Jordan, you had to be a very good nurse. Mm-hmm. She was a very complicated case. We talk about all the time where every day we work to keep her alive. And that was true. Like you had to be on things just to keep her alive. So, some patients, you have to be very high level. You have to be very attentive. So other ones, it really varies. And some of them could just be there to help, the kid get around, almost like a babysitter, but has some medical background. But, the nursing for us was huge because I'm working throughout the day. My wife's taking care of Jordan. We had to have time where we slept. So our nursing was mostly at night, where somebody would come into our house and stay with Jordan through the night when my wife and I tried to grab a couple hours of sleep. So, and the private duty nursing is the number of nurses is so far down. We had a tough time getting nurses to come to the house, and it was a strain for us as a family. But so that's something we want to do too. Is we want to help pay these nurses. They don't make enough money to first off, and we want to help families that don't get enough nursing to help get people in there to help them out.
So as you're taking this trip down this road, I mean, this sounds like a lot of work.
It is, and I think it's something that we're passionate for. We're one of the reasons we're starting this is because we want to make sure Jordan's legacy lives on. We want her name to be on the top of people's minds. For 4 years, she battled literally every single day. So we want to take that, what she did, and showed us how to be strong, passionate, and we want to put that into the foundation and help as many people as we can. Like I said, it's to explain what happens. I mean, we all have kids here, and to see your kid have a cold, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Or to have strep throat, it's awful.
Right.
But to go through something so bad, to literally walk into a room and see your child hooked up to 100 wires and go through that, we're very passionate about it. My wife is a saint. She went through so much through 4 years because I had to go to work. I had to pay for our house,
right?
And she had to take care of Jordan, and we're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff as much as we can. We're gonna do as much as we can and work as hard as we can and try to help as many families as we can.
Yeah, that's the strength and the composure that you guys displayed. Just was phenomenal. I mean, meeting you last year, not knowing the history of it, you wouldn't be able to tell. You kept upbeat all times, positive, remain positive. And as I got to know you a little better, I knew the story, and I was like, man, how do these guys do it? Upbeat, they're on time with everything. You maintained your job.
Yeah.
Like you said, your wife had to be extremely hard on you guys, but you were hurting inside, but you always had that smile on your face.
Yeah.
You were always there. You got Kevin at the games on time, and I can't even imagine how hard that was on you guys.
Yeah, it was something that we had talked about as a husband and wife the few times that we actually got to talk to each other. We always told each other we needed to be upbeat. We needed to show our other 3 kids that, there's something going on with your sister, but life can't end. We have to keep living. We have to keep doing what we do. And even the doctors told us back, like, you guys are crazy. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, I can't believe. We did not hold anything back. And one of our biggest things was we didn't know how long we were going to have Jordan. We didn't know. So we wanted to give her as much of an experience as a kid as we could. Literally, we went vacation to Lake of the Ozarks. We rolled her down to the dock. We carried her onto a boat and drove around on a pontoon boat just to give her that experience. And we have pictures of her just sitting there with the wind blowing in her hair and knowing she went to Disneyland when she was like, we tried our best to give her as much as we could. And unfortunately we couldn't give her everything because, but that was one of our things, and we didn't hold back. She came to baseball games. We did all that stuff with her.
And I was there that day you guys came, and watching that whole ordeal of just getting her to a ball game.
Yep.
But what was great was watching all the families of the ball team coming over and helping, being a part of that.
Lots of love and support.
Oh, yeah.
There was. And so, so talking about these things, understanding the focus of the foundation, you're starting off with a golf tournament, correct?
Our first event's going to be a golf tournament, August 11th at Golf Club Wentzville. My wife wants to do something else because she's in golf, but we're going to start with a golf tournament. I have lots of experience running golf tournaments. So it's super exciting already. Just to tell you this quick story, we launched the foundation on Facebook, and then the next day we announced our golf tournament. And I got a message on Facebook probably 15 minutes after I had posted it of a guy that owns a heating and cooling company in Springfield, Illinois. Never met the gentleman. I have no clue who he is. Reached out and said, I want to be a $1,000 sponsor for the golf tournament. Literally
That's
5
awesome.
minutes into it, this guy from Springfield, Illinois wants to be part of it. And it almost brought me to tears because he had said he'd followed Jordan's journey throughout the time, and he just wants to be a small part of it. And it just, like I said, it just shows the impact that Jordan had on people's lives. That she never said a word to anybody, never said one word to anybody, but people I mean, I think you guys are both at the wake, which thank you by the way for coming to that. It meant a lot to us. But the line was like out the door.
It was.
I mean,
it was.
She's 4, never said a word to anybody, and the line was out the door. So I think we're going to have a very good turnout for the golf tournament. Like I said, we've already started, and we appreciate you guys coming on board.
We're looking forward to it, man. We're looking forward to it. It's been something that's close to us as a person.
Yeah.
And just getting to know you and your family, and so we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You allow professionals at this event? I might be interested.
No professionals. No professionals allowed. But we're super excited. Like I said, our son Kevin is super excited because I'm going to put him on a green and have him be a group's extra putt just to let him help. He has 5 putts, so he's fired up for it.
Oh yeah.
He's already in the basement practicing his putting stroke. He's fired up for it. So we're
Get out the old Billy Barule.
yeah. His new favorite movie is Happy Gilmore, so he's been watching that, getting ready. So we're, as a family, we're super excited. We're going to do a bunch more stuff too. We're already starting to plan a trivia night for next February. We're just trying to work on an event for kids. We're going to try to maybe rent out a skating rink where we can have the kids come skate, and what we want to do is get to a skating rink where kids that have wheelchairs can get out and they can skate around and roll around and have some fun. Because we've met a lot of amazing people through our journey, through all of the rehab, the hospital stays. We've had families that have kids that are like us that we want to help them and have their kids have fun too. And so we're working on a bunch of events. We don't want to blow it up too much. We don't want to get too big into it and it kind of fall for us. But we're our first event in August is gonna be great, and then we'll plan something in February, and then my wife and I are gonna kind of do some videos that was just her and I sitting in our basement talking about our experience of how it went through, my perspective from her perspective, and if it doesn't help, if it just helps one person that comes across the video, it's worth it.
Amen.
So that's kind of where we got lots of plans, and we just got to do it the right way and make sure that Jordan's legacy continues to grow.
So where can people go to find the information right
So currently we're in the middle of developing a website. So we're kind of fresh with that. But on Facebook, if you just search Jordy's Journey, that was Jordan's page where we kind of told family members what was going on, how it was happening. So that's going to kind of transition into the foundation page. So that's got all of our information on there. All the dates, times, and that's where we put all of our content. That's one thing that's great about Facebook. It's like it gets information out.
That's right.
And she's got over 1,000 followers on that page. So sometimes I like to go through and like look at it. I was like, I don't know him, her. I don't know half the people on there.
But that's the cool thing about it. You don't have to know her.
Yeah.
In that respect, and people just understand that there's people out there that need help. And I think that's the great thing about community. And that's one of the reasons why we have this show on. We talk about character, we talk about commitment, and we talk about community. And Mike, I think you compose yourself in that way. I think you have a lot of character. I think your commitment to your family, to who you are, and the community. And I think it shows. And I think that's why people gravitate and why everybody was there paying their respects. It was really that's my 2 cents. And so
we appreciate it, and I think that's something that I was raised to be a passionate, compassionate person and do what we can. When I ran into Dave in Game 7, I have the ability to do some things athletically, and there's not a better organization to help out as much as we can. I love having Game 7 at Lindenwood, playing on the turf, and the first time I met him and saw a tournament, I was like, okay, this is something that I want to help out with as much as I can. I remember the first time I emailed Dave and I was like, hey, I got a place for a tournament this week. And he's like, yeah, probably going to be too expensive. I said, well, what about free? And so he jumped at the opportunity. But, that's kind of how we take.
Driving down the road and trying to do it. I hope my insurance guy ain't listening to this. Yeah. When I saw it, pull over immediately. I said, okay, let's call this guy.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that we like to do as a family. And we talked to our other kids about it too. Just be a compassionate person and just be nice to people.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, all the crap that goes on in this world. There's still lots of very good people in this world, and And we kind of tell our kids, be one of those people that make a difference, make an impact in somebody else's life, make an impact on your life. And it means a lot, like even the smallest things, like being able to help out some 10-year-old kids play baseball just on a weekend. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I didn't really do a whole bunch. I just let them say, yeah, you can have the field. But to see those 10-year-olds playing baseball when nobody else was playing in the city, how happy they were, that's kind of what, we want. And I can't wait for that first day when we take something to a family that needs something and struggling, and to see the excitement they have on their face. I can't wait for that. And it's going to be an emotional day. It's been an emotional last, few months since Jordan passed away. And, every day we think about her. But this is going to help us drive, like the memory of her helps us go where we need to go and make the foundation as big as we can make it. And hopefully it grows and helps a lot of people.
Well, folks, you heard it here. And if you want to help out, make sure you go follow the Facebook page. Check it out. Mike, we'll look forward to having you back again. Talk some more. We'll keep this up. The closer we get to the event, we'll keep you posted on what's going on. And thanks for coming out.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mike.
Thanks,
For
Dave.
coming on.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, guys, we'll be back in a moment. But just at this time, we want to talk to you about the tax office and our good friend over there, Megan Wallander. They are more than just a tax office. If you've got payroll needs, accounting needs, whatever your business needs, they can help you with it. So make sure you go over and see them here in St. Charles, Missouri. And Megan will be happy to talk to you. We'll get that information out there for you. So give her a call. We'll be back in a minute. All right, folks, we're back here with our Game 7 update. And Dave had another big weekend in Branson. Rain's killing a little bit, but let's talk a little baseball here.
Yeah, but since our last show, we had the Arch Madness on March 23rd through 24th. That was held out at Chesterfield and at Baldwin. Rains came in Saturday night and kind of dampened things, so to speak. But the good folks over at Baldwin were able to kick it in hightail and get us on the field on Sunday.
Yeah, I remember talking to you on Sunday. We had on the wrap-up show, you guys had just gotten over to Baldwin and getting things ramped back up. They did a good job, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. We had the 14s over there, so hey, shout out to the staff and crew over there at Baldwin. Thanks for making that happen for us. And they went above and beyond for us, Brian. Sunday night, we got into the championship round where there were two local teams battling out in the 14U AAA Major Division. We had the Extreme Wasson versus Extreme Rogers. And it was like a laser light show. Lightning, heavy rains came down. So, but they made it happen for us. The two teams wanted to play each other within the same organization. So Judy and the good people over at Baldwin Athletic let us play and duke it out on Wednesday night over there and complete it on the field.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was really nice of them. Thanks, guys.
That's awesome.
But we did crown some champions and runners-up in the 11s, 12s, and 13s over at Chesterfield. Field conditions did not allow us to continue on with bracket play on Sunday, but like to acknowledge the 11-12 UAA winner, the St. Louis SWAT, and runner-up St. Louis Force. And then in the 12U AAA Major Division, we had the St. Louis Force as the champion, and runner-up was the Missouri Gators. Tommy wins, Missouri Gators.
Very good.
And then in the 13U division, we had first place going to the Rawlings Tigers, Mr. Ropa, and runner-up was the Rawlings Extreme, Mr. Horn.
Good teams.
Good times.
Yeah.
So
that's good baseball right there.
I mean, that's one thing, though. We do award seedings. We awarded them on seedings. So you do have some emphasis on seedings. I'm sorry, in pool play. So you can't really go out and lay down in pool play. You can't just go out there and sandbag per se, because you never know when Mother Nature's going to reach up and
bite you in the butt.
Yeah, so there's a couple teams that still haven't picked up their awards. By the way, we'll make arrangements for that. But there were a few that had picked up their awards. But we'll make arrangements for those two guys to get their rings and bats.
So Wednesday night, who was your runner-up?
The runner-up was the Rawlings Extreme Wasson.
Okay. And so the champ was whose team was that?
So Rawlings Extreme, Donnie Rogers, and Eisen.
So they're both from the same organization. That was kind of cool, though. They're still in town, getting to play. And good game.
Yeah, it was really, and like, again, thanks to Baldwin for making it happen, and the teams being flexible, the parents getting their kids there on a night that wasn't planned.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey, congrats to all you guys out there for the Arch Madness. I know the rain kind of shortened that up, but congrats you guys, and we're moving on.
Yep, and then that's last weekend. Wasn't too fortunate here again with Mother Nature here in St. Louis with the swing in the spring. A total washout.
It was.
Yeah, myself personally, I was down in Branson, and I kept in communication with Smitty here in town. He said, "Oh, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. It's still raining. It's still raining." So,
It rained all day, man.
oh, it rained in Branson, Friday night, and that's thank goodness for the 100% turf fields there. And I tell you what, they have this system. It's a forecasting software system that they purchased down there, and I spoke with Jason. I said, Jason, at 5:30 in the morning, thanks for answering my call, by the way. We were scheduled for a 9 a.m. start down there.
Yeah.
And it didn't look good on the radar. It was green, had some red in it. It looked pretty nasty. So I said, can you make a call to your company that you use for the forecast? And I tell you, they were like spot on. They said, you know what, I think you're going to be good. It's going to be a little bit, not ideal conditions to play, but it's gonna blow out of here right around 9:15, and you should be good for the rest of the day. So we pushed back an hour. Teams were there checking in, and we took the field at 10 o'clock and completed all pool play and ended up on Sunday. So we had a complete a bracket of 12U and 13U. In a 13U, there were 21 teams.
Yeah, that was a good tournament.
Really
I
good
saw the stats and whatnot and some of the action. That was a good tournament.
Tell you, I enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of good coaching down there, a lot of good teams, and tell you what, everybody checked in. We make it mandatory. It's not an option. You have to check in before your first game, and it's not just to obtain your pitching card and your lineup cards. It's an opportune time to ask questions.
Right.
Pertaining to rules, the forms. For instance, this year our pitching, we're going by thirds of an inning. So that was a good time to
Well, that's
clarify
different than last
Different
year.
than last year. Last year we had one pitch was 1 inning. Now
Right.
this year, our software and our scheduling system has the capability to recognize third of an innings.
Good.
So that's one
good.
change from last year. And, like I said, every team checked in, and they had some great questions. That's why it's so important to check in. Don't just take it for granted, oh, they know who I am. Come to the, because Branson Ballparks of America down there has their own set of rules for their week-long tournaments. Yeah. And there was a couple teams that participated last weekend who had came prior and played in those events. And one rule was Branson has that you can't slide head first.
So they'd played in their week-long stuff and thought that was the same rule,
Correct.
huh?
But the coach did his due diligence, came up and said, hey, this is what I played by before. I noticed it wasn't in your rules. And we clarified it right then and there at team check-in. So that's the way to do it, guys. I mean, don't take the check-in for granted. We do everything we do is for a purpose. So, and it worked out really well.
There you go. I think that's great because then it also gets you understanding if the UIC's there, relationship, who to come talk to, where those things are at. It's just a good practice.
Exactly. With Game 7, you'll have a UIC and a director on board at all times, and they got to meet Brad face-to-face, and if they had any questions, they'd know who to go to.
Right.
There's Brad. I recognize Brad. So It helps a lot. Like I said, we do everything for a purpose, and that's one of the main reasons, and thanks to the coaches who read the rules and followed up and checked in. It was a great tournament. The weather, thank goodness.
Sunday wasn't bad. It was a little cold.
A little cold, but you know what? I didn't get one complaint. Those little guys, those 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds, they were ready to go because I got to sit down there and we had team check-in in the indoor batting facility, and man, they left with fire in their eyes. They were ready to go out and play. They didn't care how cold it was. They were ready to go get at it.
Let's play ball, baby.
Yeah, it was a great weekend.
So who'd we crown? What did we start out? Let's start at 12U.
12U, we had the runner-up. It was the Willard Tigers.
Willard Tigers.
Noel Sparing out of the Springfield area there. They're with us a bunch this year.
Very good.
So it's good to see him come out and have a successful weekend.
Very good.
I think he enjoyed himself with Game 7.
So who won the big enchilada there?
It was a team that plays us a lot from our other side of the state in Kansas City. Steve Rinko, who's flying some new colors this year. He's on board with a great club, a great organization. Jaws' Rawlings Tigers has now expanded into Kansas City, and he's a part of that organization and that club. And they were victorious, flying the orange and black colors this weekend. So it was a good start for the club and him personally.
So that's the Rawlings Tigers that are here. That's an extension in Kansas City of the Rawlings Tigers.
Correct.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So then we got the 13U division. You ended up, because it was so big, you split that up into a silver and a gold, correct?
Yeah, and a silver, gold, and actually 3, because you don't want a team playing more than 4 games in one day. And with a large number like that, 21 teams, it's great to have, but when you get to Sunday, you got to kind of break it into brackets, and that's what we did. People, once again, there was no room for sandbagging in pool play. If you want to make it up into that top 8, you had to go after it every game.
That makes the competition good.
Yeah, I'm
that
a
makes
big
it.
fan of
Yeah, I'm with you there, Dave.
So, but the silver division, the 13U silver, runner-up was the Archangels from the Quad Cities area.
Oh, wow.
Coach Switzer, yeah, thanks to your parents, actually made it down twice. The first Shamrock Shootout, he brought the 12s, and this weekend he brought the 13s, and it's like a 7.5-hour truck down south for him. But it was good because they showed me a couple pictures, and I think they had some accumulation of snow up there, and actually so did Kansas City, so got to play.
Oh, mercy. And so we got a champ there for that silver
Champs in
division.
the silver went to the Hannibal Mudcats with Charlie Culp. Congratulations to those guys. They're a big supporter of Game 7, and Charlie was a little upset that he didn't get into that gold bracket. It's just, hey, he just said the kids come out a little flat, but he didn't put his head down. He went for it and
Took the silver.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's a good showing.
Kids remained positive, and they took home the gold in the silver division.
So we got the gold division. Who was our runner up there?
The runner-up was the Quincy Cardinals out of the gold division. Like I said, it was the top 8 teams.
I got a trend here. You got Quad Cities, Hannibal, Quincy. That's all up there, man, up in the north. That's pretty good.
I didn't even think of that.
It is. I mean, that's everybody driving south. That's pretty good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. But
No. That's good. To make it in that top 8. Kudos to all the teams that did, because, like I said, there was no room for sandbagging, and the Quincy Cardinals got it done and fell up a little short in the championship game. But you know what? That was a tough 21 team division.
So who's our champ in that division?
Our champ was a local team here from St. Louis, the Scorpions. Coach Daniel Reynolds.
Oh, okay.
And the Scorpions. They brought it home. They took home the gold in the gold division.
Very good.
They did an outstanding job. They got some depth and some kids that can really hit the ball.
Very good. Very good. Congrats, guys. Congrats to all those teams on working hard. So we got 14U in down there too, correct? Or was it just 13? That was it. Just 13.
12s and 13s.
Okay.
For the spring.
My mistake. Not paying attention.
No worries.
And so down there in Springfield, also give a shout out to Southwest Missouri Game 7. I didn't see a champion. They had one age group down there at US Bank Ballpark as 13U division.
Well, Springfield's down there near Branson, and man, it rained a lot, and they were able to get the 13Us on some turf out there and have a division on Saturday and Sunday.
And it looks like they had the top team that came out of that is the Tribe Brown. I'm not familiar with that team. Springfield Mavericks, a group down there I'm familiar with. They looked in second place, 3-1. Looks like they kind of just did a round robin tournament, didn't it?
Looks like so. We'll talk to Travis and see if we can get some photos sent up for that.
Absolutely. So shout out to those guys down there getting that in there. And what else we got coming up here? We got.
Well, Jordy had a big tournament in Tennessee, 160 plus teams
Golly.
last weekend. So Yes, I think she's sleeping good. 168 teams on a weekend. That'll do it to you. But
You got quite a few coming up this weekend.
this weekend's a great one for us. We have 2 venues going on. We're at 3 different ballparks. 110 plus teams total.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. We got some promising weather in store for us, so hopefully we can get it completed into its entirety.
Absolutely. And this week, we are starting off with this tournament. We've been talking about this for a while. You probably see the picture up. We're bringing Cool Bats on. Cool Bats is going to sponsor this award along with Red Earth Productions Game 7. We're going to hand out a Tournament Outstanding Player Award. First annual one, or the first one we're going to be doing, first inaugural, I guess I should say, right? Yeah. At the Spring Smackdown. And you can see that on the picture there. Jeff over at Cool Bats has been really great about putting this together for us. And so we're going to send out some information, talking with Dave here about what that's going to be, and we'll get some criteria. So you know how he's talking about coming and checking in and whatnot, get the information so you understand what that's about, who's going to get that award, and where we go from there. So that's happening this weekend, first inaugural one, and we'll have a top award every tournament after that.
Just another incentive to get them to check in, right?
Exactly. Come check in, find out what's going on.
There is value in checking in, ladies and gentlemen. Value.
So, and I think that's a great thing. Again, criteria as we're looking at, and we talk with coaches, we talk about character, we talk about commitment, we talk about community, and we want to reward kids and understand that you play well, you play hard, you have a good attitude, you understand what character is. Those are the things that will help you later in life. And we want to promote good sportsmanship, the right attitude, the right focus on playing ball. So that's a lot of the criteria that goes into this top award. So we're looking forward to it. So what else you got, man?
Oh, in 2 weeks before our next show here, we do the show every 2 weeks. We have one of our marquee tournaments is the Masters.
Yes.
Who's going to bring home that green jacket over there in O'Fallon, Illinois? It's April 12th through the 14th over there in O'Fallon. Very
good. These are some fun stuff, and we're going to be having. And speaking of that, with all these tournaments coming up, we've talked about this. We can't be at every venue. We can't be every place all the time. So we've been talking about this for quite a while, and there's going to be a link up on REP's website that's going to be available for people to upload videos, game footage. If you're at the ballpark and you are videoing the game and you catch a play, your son, your daughter, softball too, doesn't matter. Let's bring it all. We are going to have a place where you can go to our website, hit a link, upload that video. We're going to start putting some of those videos out on our tournament wrap-up show. We'll have some more video highlights on Youth Sports and Activities Midwest here. And so we want to see as much as we can. We're going to send out some more information. We're going to make you aware of that. So those links are going to be available to you. So we got 2 big tournaments coming up. So that's a great opportunity.
Let's hope Mother Nature cooperates.
Oh, it will, man. It will. I'm feeling it. So we've got all these things coming up, links and opportunities for you. We want to involve the community. It's not just us sitting here. We believe that it should be everybody involved. And if you can throw us a video up there and we can put it on and everybody gets to see your son, I think that's a great thing. So, we're looking forward to that. So what else you got, man?
That's about it.
That it?
It was a fun-packed show today. Thanks for Mike coming on board and sharing his story.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, folks, remember that. Check out, go to Facebook, look up Jordy's Journey, and follow that Facebook page. You won't regret it. So, man, that went by quick.
Yeah, I would say I'm looking forward to going and watching March Madness, but my bracket's busted, decimated.
I think everybody's is. When North Carolina and Duke lost, I think everybody's done.
My
So
wife fills one out. She's clicking for work, and I'm not going to say a word next year. She had Texas Tech going to the Final Four, and then actually into the finals. I said, get them out of there. They're not going to make it. Well,
ta-da! So who you think's going to win it all?
I have no idea. Take a coin and toss up and throw it up.
Man, Auburn though lost one of their key players with an ankle injury. I don't know. I haven't heard, but I watched him limping off the court. So Michigan State's right there always, man. Tom Izzo. Get some guys playing ball.
It's a great week of sports here. We got the home opener with the Cardinals.
Yes.
We've got the NHL winding down. Teams fighting.
Blues winning. They just beat the Avalanche.
Big win last night in overtime.
Yeah, man.
And then in 2 weeks, you got, of golf fans, you got the Masters. So,
Woo! Big time stuff. Well, hey, guys, we'd like to thank you for coming, joining us, taking time out of your day to watch our show. We do appreciate it. Comments, anything you'd like to shoot at us as far as something you'd like to see, talk about, we'd love to hear from you. So just hit that in that comment page when you're watching. So we'll be talking to you soon. Dave, as always, thank you, sir.
pleasure, my friend.
We'll see you at the ballpark. And you hitters, remember, hit them where they ain't. And you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. We'll talk to you guys soon.